Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Steel Donut Collective. My name is Connor, and with me on this video will be Blake and Yella. This is a direct continuation from our previous video on this book, The Impending Storm. That's why we forgot to record an intro for it. But again, to remind you, The Impending Storm is a fantasy novel published in the early 2000s that has been shown on like TV tropes is so bad it's horrible page for just really bad writing, really generic fantasy. And we are looking at just the first part of it that's available in the little preview from Amazon for this book. So last video we looked at the prologue. This second and final video we'll be looking at chapter 1. So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, so that was the end of the prologue, and now we go to chapter 1, which, uh, let's just go. As an inn, Springs' was better than most in the kingdom of
Springs
Darty.
is in.
Their Yelp reviews were, much better.
Mm-hmm.
You might say, wait, is there a guy named Springs?
Yeah, Springs. This is his inn.
Springs? Yeah.
Springs
With the land
in.
full of hunters, innkeepers began to capitalize and create lodgings that a hunter would find useful. A place where they could get drunk, tell tales of the hunt, and sleep on mattresses that often had not been clean.
Ah, yes, as all hunters enjoy.
Yeah, they hate clean mattresses.
You-
They see it.
You don't need to explain to me how society works. I mean, you should in a way, but not.
You should
not
in a
this
way that
part,
is
not
more
that
natural.
inns exist.
Yeah, also that.
The hunters would break their fair share of tables and chairs, so most inns lost their desire to maintain a clean
What the
atmosphere and grew darker and grimmer.
Okay, actually, what?
What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, do you... Okay.
I like dirty mattresses and broken chairs. That's the
Anger
only way I'm
and
happy.
nihilism is the plague that swept the world, apparently. Hunters just go on berserker rampages and destroy stuff, and the innkeepers are just like, well, they'll pay for it anyway, so I'm not gonna fix it up.
But hey, Springs... cannot believe this guy is named Springs. Springs refused to give in to this trend. He ran a clean operation and prided himself on it. His 9 children created a full-time staff to wait on people from the moment they first walked in.
That's how you can run your clean operation. Get your 9 kids to do it.
Yeah. His lounge area served alcohol to its patrons and had tables for comfort and privacy.
So, you know,
it even had a
the
smoking
standard
section
things.
in the back.
Yeah. And you could order on the app and have it brought to your car.
Nice.
They called it a speakeasy, but it was actually one of those hipsterish things where it was just like a normal bar that they did up, and there was actually no rules against alcohol.
Yeah. His lounge area served alcohol, as well as a well-lighted atmosphere so all could see. But what about the privacy? His youngest son played the piano throughout the evening with calm and soothing tunes for people to enjoy. This feels like it was written by a fucking alien.
Yeah, this is such a weird collection of details. At first I was like, you don't need to describe inns, but apparently this guy has no idea, how normal inns are.
Yeah, well, it feels like Clifford, like I said, is like an alien who doesn't know what is normal and what's not. So he doesn't know, because you should focus on what's unusual, but he doesn't know what that is. So he just describes things in detail that are tacit, that we know.
Or things that are really weird because no one else would do. Like, what is this kid playing fucking Mac Tonight?
Yeah.
All evening?
Yeah. So his family also spent extra time cleaning the entire area whenever a patron had moved on, so the next guest would receive a clean, warm, and friendly experience. Yeah, that toilet is just spotless. His rooms...
Never mind.
Yeah,
I don't
his
know.
rooms were also far more luxurious than his competitors.
How important is this guy? I don't care.
No bed would ever be... I don't think he shows up after the first chapter. No bed would ever be remade without cleaning the garments.
Like, it's one thing, adventuring party walks into an inn that's totally fucking trashed, and they think oh my god, what just happened? And the joke is the guy would be like, nah, it's always like that. People break stuff and I just don't replace it. But it's another thing to make this guy the focus of the first chapter.
We
And
have
he never shows up.
we have all this we have all this probably going to be completely unnecessary exposition. And then,
Yeah.
like, I'm half expecting us to move away from this and then just have the adventuring party, or one of the three, because they're separated, just be somewhere completely different that is completely unrelated to this place. Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
God damn
details
it.
important. This is a living, breathing, open world.
See that mountain? You can climb it.
No bed would ever be remade without cleaning the garments.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
clothes.
the bed wears pants.
Yeah, you need to change the bed's clothes. Come on.
If a bed wore pants, would it wear them like this or like this?
What the fuck?
Oh no. I'm immediately picturing exactly how you would think the pants would be on the bed. Like the two options.
Springs' wife and daughter-in-law saw to the upkeep of the rooms, and they took great pride in it. In terms of size, his rooms offered more space than others in Darty as well. Don't you want to stay at Springs' Inn?
Yeah,
Book your stay
right
today.
this?
Yeah. Springs liked to consider himself an entrepreneur of a fine establishment. What? One that royalty would be willing to occupy when traveling in his area, and quite frequently, royal families did check in when they wished to go hunting in the Dartian woods.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, it's the land of Darty.
Yeah, so that's Darshan.
You know what? I'll pronounce it Darshayan just so all three of us have different pronunciations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, I
These
fucking
occupants
love you.
he gave special care to and catered to their every need so that more royal families would return in the future.
All the royal families, give me all of them. They pay well.
Springs' Inn had been in the family for 7 generations. Each firstborn son took on the name Springs to follow in his father's footsteps.
Why
Poor
did none of them
sons of
think to
bitches.
just go with Spring so it can just be Springs Inn instead of fucking Springs' Inn?
Springs' Inn. Springs himself was the 11th, with the name lasting
Springs
even
the
longer than their
11th.
time as
What?
innkeepers.
Also, hold on.
So
7
there's-
generations, and he's the 11th.
Yeah, did the previous 10 in the generation all die? And he's like, well, it's my turn to take up the family business. They probably did. It'll probably explain in the next paragraph.
Yeah, he was relatively short for a human, because you care, and gray hairs covered what remained of a balding head.
Oh my god,
so he has
was
one
he
of...
half decapitated?
He's missing most of his head.
He's missing part of his balding head. At least he kept a part that has hair on it.
Yeah, what hairs remain? He was talking about the remaining of the... He meant to talk about, like, what few hairs remain, but instead, it's what little head remains.
Oh, I see. He was partially scalped before. That's horrifying.
Damn.
Like, you look at him from the front, he looks normal. You look at him from, like, the side, and it looks like he just had a big melon baller scoop out his head. What the fuck?
Yeah,
What
I'm happy
remained?
he was able to keep getting on with his life and maintain his family hotel business. Business, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can that line itself be Steel Donut Gold? Just that line? What remained of a balding head?
I mean, listen, anything can be steel donut gold if you put your heart in it.
Yeah. Except for racism.
Except for that is
Racism
never
is
gold.
Never gold.
Real quick to explain that, we were recording an amazing story called Racism is Never Gold, and it got taken down, and then we lost the audio.
Yeah.
Really
It's
sad
like
times.
it's like when you hear about one of those missing albums, like that Green Day album that got stolen, and you're like, what could have been?
That always sucks, and it's always kind of weird. Like, this story was up for years, and then we riffed it, and in the maybe month between recording the audio and then going to edit the video, that's when the author was like, actually, I will take this down.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't re-record.
It's always weird when that happens, and it was especially sad this time.
Yeah.
It was a Paw Patrol story, too. We're never going to find anything else non-troll in the Paw Patrol story, because it wasn't a troll story. Oh, man. He dressed in comfortable blue pants with leather shoes rather than boots, because you care. And with a lighter blue shirt with a red ribbon around his neck.
Okay.
A small set of spectacles rested on his nose to help eyes that at one time could spot a customer long before they stepped foot into his establishment.
Oh, you mean to tell me that his vision was at one time good and then became impaired, requiring him to wear spectacles? What?
Springs' elder son was the 12th to take on the name, and eagerly was learning all aspects of the business.
Wait. Springs was probably the first. Springs himself was the 11th. Oh, he's the 11th generation.
Yeah, but it said... Yeah,
But
and I guess
wait,
the inn
how is he the 11th if the inn has only been in the family for 7... Never mind.
It was started by the 4th generation. As Springs proudly looked over the patrons on this warm afternoon, he thanked the gods, as he did so often, for the way things turned out. Unlike other inns, he couldn't recall the last time a brawl broke out. He remembered something from when he was a child and learning from his father, but he was young then, and that was during the Great Wars.
Let's
Wait,
just...
And this next line is like, he thought this was like the most wise, sage, saying possible. Wars have a way of upsetting even the most peaceful of places.
Yes, that's why they're called wars.
How
really makes you fucking think.
It's one of those things that nobody should like because they're wars. Fuck.
Yeah.
Reading ahead a little bit, just the rest of this sample being shown, I love that it literally was just like, he remembered something, and whatever he remembered does not matter. It's literally just, he remembered. Like, that's how brains work.
Yeah, well, because, we might not know. I mean, Cliff doesn't know. He's an alien. With all of those thoughts flowing through his head, he would later think that he must have jinxed himself. Real fantasy, I really want to see the phrase jinxed himself in a fantasy book. It really makes it feel, medieval.
It's fast, casual fantasy.
Yeah. Because his entire world turned upside down the minute that 5 hunters walked through the doorway.
Oh, no, not hunters.
I hate those, lines where it's like, little did he know this would change his life forever. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't write that line. As the bell on the door rang, Springs the 12th went to greet the new patrons with a warm welcome.
Oh, no.
He was repaid by being shoved aside by the first hunter inside the door, with a yell to get out of his way. The elder Springs quickly moved over to the 5 new patrons to try to prevent hostilities in advance.
Welcome, hunters, to my establishment. Yes, I'm doing my old person voice now. Because Yella already did his.
Yes.
If you would please leave your weapons by the door and wipe the mud off your boots, it would be greatly appreciated.
The man that pushed his son took 2 steps closer to Springs. His breath smelled of liquor and his teeth were rotted. The dirt and grime smeared on his face and tattered clothing looked as if he had not bathed in months. In case you missed that, the dirt and grime on his face and clothing looked as if he had not bathed in months.
Yeah. Oh. The grime did not bathe.
The dirt and grime has not bathed.
No.
Yeah, that dirt is only attracted to the I don't know, stinkiest of people.
Yeah, how me a Clifford learned English? Like, what? He looked down at the shorter Springs and grinned.
Hold on, let me just find a voice.
I'm rough, I'm tough. My whole existence is to be a bad apple.
Greatly appreciated. Well, we would greatly appreciate it if you would get the hell out of our way so that we can get a decent drink.
With that, he took his foot and smeared it along the floor, leaving a trail of mud as he walked over to the bar area.
Barkeep, drinks for my men and I. Yar, matey. Sorry.
Yeah. The barkeeper was Springs' second son, Barrow.
Barrow?
He preferred hunting to staying and working, but enjoyed talking to the customers about their latest games. I think you mean latest... yeah, whatever. At the age of 33, Barrow often gave in to his emotions and did things that would embarrass his father.
Wow, you're 33.
I don't think you meant 33, Clifford. I think you meant 3.
Or 13? Like,
yeah, like what?
He's also a young Spriggan, only 33. He doesn't know the ways of the world yet.
None of us are 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Connor, can you wait until we grow up and can get jobs when we're like 40?
Yeah, man, I can't wait until I finally finish a grade school, and get into middle school at the age of, 35.
Yeah, I can't wait until I hit triple digits and can finally drive.
Did this guy forget he wasn't writing elves anymore?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Possibly.
Yet never has he acted inappropriately here at the end. The second he steps out the door, though, he's a fucking wreck.
I mean, he is a hunter. He is a hunter.
Oh, he's one of them, yeah. He looked up at his father with a plea in his eyes to let him do something, anything.
Please, let me just break their faces. Please.
But his father just shook his head no and gestured for him to serve them.
Dad, I want to punch him, man.
Hang on. Can I say so? Can I ask something really pedantic?
Sure.
It's a really small potato, but how does he look up at his father when his father is really short?
Yeah.
How short is Barrow? That feels like a pun or like a joke that I don't get.
Well, here's the
Barrow
thing.
Springs.
Here's the
Well,
thing,
no,
Connor.
Springs is the first name. Is the
He's
best
only
thing.
33. You know, he's like, he hasn't fully grown yet.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
He's only 33.
So,
He's so
even though the old Springs is short, Barrow is just naturally short because he's still a child. He's still like a toddler.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah, he's
only
33.
33.
Someday he'll hit puberty and he'll grow up. And
He'll shoot past his dad, no problem.
Yeah.
But,
I remember, when I was in my 50s and we finally got sex ed, and it was real weird.
Yeah.
But I guess it was needed because of all those new changes happening to my body.
It's like, oh, wait.
At the age of 50.
You were like, girls don't have a pee-pee?
Yeah.
Disappointed that his father wouldn't do anything, he realized that the hope must be for these people to have a quick drink and leave.
Anything in particular, gentlemen?
Har har! Another hunter
Fiddle-dee-dee.
bellowed. Y'all hear that, Jenks? He calls us gentoilmen.
No, he didn't. But okay.
The man he addressed as Jenks. This story's pretty jank.
Jinx.
Turned out to be the same man who had pushed the younger Springs and smeared the mud on the floor. He looked at his grubby companion and hit him in the chest.
Other than you, Riff, we are gentlemen. Hell, you can't even say the word.
You oversay the word.
This story is Jake's. We're doing a riff. Oh my god.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh,
just wait
no.
until-
In
Just
half
wait until-
a year, it will be Springs again.
Just wait until you meet the other three hunters, Steel, Donut, and Collective.
Oh, shit.
Springs closed his eyes and prayed this would end quickly. He could see the disruption and watched as several patrons packed up and got ready to leave.
Well, I don't want any of this
Okay.
bullshit. Goodbye.
Something like this, if it got out, could ruin him. Yeah, one bad customer walks in.
One bad group of customers will
means
ruin his
no
business.
good customers ever come again.
Oh my god, this is so high class, I guess, that it's like, what?
They're like,
Like-
oh, this riffraff.
Ruffian behavior even existed in this establishment for a little bit. It must be shut down.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like, oh my gosh, it's just...
It's
It's
done.
like a place Patrick Bateman would go, It's like,
Yeah.
they bank on their exclusivity.
Is this an inn or is this like a gentleman's club?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right thing. There's something more specific for, like just really high class.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is this a gentleman's club or a gentleman's club?
Yeah. As the customers slowly left, he thanked them all and apologized for the disruption. Most seemed to regard him warmly and stated that they understood. He truly hoped they did. Looking back inside, there remained only a few patrons sitting at tables and the 5 hunters at the bar. He noticed one man in the back corner lean back into the shadows and watched the newcomers intently. He was wearing
hi,
a red cloak.
Aragorn.
Yeah, he's straight up fucking Aragorn, like in the movie, too. He was wearing a red cloak that covered most of his features, but Springs could tell his eyes had not swayed from the direction of the hunters since they first walked in.
Yeah,
Hi,
I wonder
Aragorn.
who these people are. Or who
Yeah,
this is.
well, I mean, he's not. He doesn't go by Aragorn here. He goes by the name Struder.
Ah. You see, that's a
call me
clever pseudonym.
Yeah.
I'm Struder.
I'm or, sometimes when he feels a bit peckish, he'll be Strudel.
Strudel. Yeah.
I'm half expecting this name to actually be Struder.
Yeah, Struder.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, haha, you thought I was joking, but since I knew in advance.
Yeah. But Strings could tell, yeah. As the 5 men drank more, they began to speak more freely. Conversations moved from the hunt, then twisted into derogatory remarks of the Imperium.
Okay.
By the 9 divines.
And then it's just one of them. I'm telling you, Psych, ever since that old geezer Conrad kicked the bucket, the Imperium has fallen to pieces.
I definitely thought that was Sky, and then you said Psych, and I'm like, I was about to correct you, and then I actually really looked.
Hey, Connor. Psych.
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 The man addressed as Psych swatted at a few insects swarming around his head. A few swarming, okay. Before providing a drunken retort.
Emperor Conrad knew how to keep things going. His whelp of a daughter is a joke.
One of the other hunters was leaning against the jar.
What a good joke, guys.
What a funny joke she is. One of the other hunters was leaning against the bar looking for more liquor.
Who wants a chick to be in command anyways?
Hey, out here in the bush.
Hey,
Psych
we've never had a queen ruler.
We've never had a queen.
We've never had an empress before.
We've only ever had gay rulers. It's always an emperor and the emperor. We've never had an empress. We've never had a queen. Psych laughed with the deep tone of a man under the influence. Like, because he's been drinking, you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolm. You tell him. Worst names ever.
Okay, yeah, holy shit, it's hitting me all now. We have
Riff,
Psych, Wolm, Jenks.
Springs.
Well, I mean, of the hunter. Well, yes.
Well, I thought you were talking about just his naming trends in general.
Just like, hey,
garbage names.
It's me, Jenks. I've put together a team specifically based on how bad their first names are.
The original speaker, yeah, you can call us the how do you say that? The original speaker looked to add some more insightful commentary. Fuck off, bro.
What I'm now curious about, though, is we don't know
you don't need to put cute little phrases. The narrator shouldn't have personality if it's third person.
We also, one thing real quick, we don't have a name of a fifth person yet, so now I'm excited what his name will be.
Oh, his name might be the worst. Hell, even Lord Braxis himself can't keep the Imperium together for little Carlina. The leader of the group, Jenks, knocked the speaker off his stool.
Quiet, friend.
Brent?
I guess V is right next to B on the keyboard.
Brent, yeah. Shit. Fuck.
Wait, holy shit. So this guy literally just took Brent and moved the first letter 1 over on the keyboard.
Yeah, that's why when you write a self-insert fantasy novel, it'll be about the adventures of Johnner.
I was just wondering, like, was this bad scanning and machine translation like we saw in Dick Borer's book?
No.
But
no,
this was in early 2000s, so this guy probably maybe did type it originally. So, okay, it's Vrent.
Vrent.
Sure.
Yeah, it is Vrent.
Fucking sure.
Quiet, friend. We all know that the...
I completely changed his voice. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
We all know that the time of Zoldex is coming, and that the Imperium will fall. Stop advertising. It goes for all of you.
Yeah, we don't work in advertising, we work in communications.
We work in hunting. We do hunting business.
Yeah.
I used to sell insurance, now I'm a hunter, I hunt.
I hunt. As a hunter.
Standing back.
A hunter must hunt.
A hunter must hunt.
Line is in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Hunter must hunt.
A hunter must hunt, yeah. God.
Standing back up, Vrent lashed back at his leader. Come on, Jenks. The army Zoldex assembled here, and Darty alone will march all over the warlord and his troops. We can celebrate a little. The man sitting in the corner continued to watch the exchange intently. He was becoming intrigued by the conversation and wanted to hear much more.
Oh, information, you say?
Yeah. What is this?
Intel.
Some world building?
Expository banter?
He looks at the window and, like, the landscape is actively building itself.
This is my immersive story development.
Mm-hmm.
I will overhear a conversation that will tell me that there is a lead I must follow up on.
Yeah.
Wasn't hearing all that information about Springs and his, like, stupid little, like, red ribbon, like, doesn't that make the scene so much better? Now that you know that?
No, I forgot for a second that Springs existed.
I still don't give a shit about Springs.
Yeah.
I told you to shut up, friend.
Vrent. Jenks screamed to his fellow hunter. With the steadily rising voices and potential for increased hostilities, all the remaining patrons jumped up and ran outside.
Woo!
Except for the man in the shadows.
Oh, I wonder who
innkeeper
that
lowered his head.
mysterious fellow is.
The innkeeper lowered his head and sobbed.
Oh no! These ruffians are having an argument in my fine establishment.
How could things have gone so poorly? He had such a reputable inn. Now, 5 vagrant ruffians had run off his entire clientele.
They'll be back.
No, they won't. You're right. This is a place so high class that this, now it's like it's turned into an Applebee's. Those
so
rich
high
people
class
are coming back.
that this one situation has absolutely ruined it and him.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ruined his whole life. You know, with the conversation of the hunters dying down, they started to vandalize some of the surroundings.
Yeah, they just casual vandalism. Okay.
Are we done talking? I'm bored. Let me trash the place.
Let me smash some chairs.
I just think of like the scene from Batman '89, you know, where they ruined the museum.
Yeah.
You know, Willem jumped behind the bar and started tossing bottles to his comrades. Both elder and younger Springs, as well as Barrow, tried to reason with them. The youngest son and 6 daughters fled the inn to the safe haven of their mother, who was cleaning the rooms. Wow.
Oh,
they say no man. They say like no man is an island, but his wife, on the other hand.
Oh, it's all fun and funny when the dwarves do it at Bilbo's place, but when I start doing it, y'all have a problem with it, huh?
Yeah. They just broke in and were like eating all this food and like messing them up. The youngest son and 6 daughters fled the inn. Yep. The cloaked man in the corner had heard and seen enough. He stood up slowly and took a few steps to place himself between the 5 hunters and the door. Small floor plan. He was way out in the corner, and he took a few steps, and now he's like on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Jenks looked at the man quizzically.
What the hell do you want?
The man lowered the cloak from his head and allowed it to open. What?
Opening the cloak.
Lowering it and opening it were 2 separate actions.
Yeah.
He like drew it down while still pulling it over his face, and then he like peeled it back.
Yeah.
Is it like also kind of like a scarf that is like covering like the lower half of his face? Did he have it like wrapped around his entire head or something? Like what is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. He removed it from his head and allowed it to open to reveal the armor underneath for the first time. As his greenish blue eyes, bored into the hunters, they could feel a sense of intimidation and self-doubt.
Oh.
Self-doubt.
I'm
stare of
disappointed in you.
I will use my stare of low self-esteem.
Of judgment.
The nostril flare of total rejection. People know what that's a reference to.
The sigh of disappointment.
Your real ones. He stood a little taller than 6 feet, and with the confidence of success. He had light brown hair that
with
feathered
the confidence
back.
of success.
He had light brown hair that feathered back in layers down to his neckline. Well, that is anime hair.
Like a fucking mullet.
Yeah.
Redneck mullet.
His face had a perfectly trimmed goatee of the same color. Certainly an attractive man. Ooh la la. But a man not to be trifled with.
Unlike those attractive men you can trifle with all the time.
You mess with them, yeah. You put whoopee cushions under them, you know, like banana peels.
Yeah.
His suit of armor beneath the red cloak, which flowed to the floor, was predominantly black. The breastplate was intricately designed and portrayed a flaming bird rising from a sea of darkness that burst through with the flood of a raging inferno.
Jesus, I don't...
So a phoenix.
We won't get into it in the sample chapter, but I do know also from TV tropes that there is a sex scene in the story that uses the phrase raging inferno. I think it said 3 times in 2 pages.
Oh, that is gross.
And I almost want to buy the book because I really want to read. I don't know how you use Raging Inferno in a sex scene once successfully.
I mean, I can think of a way. It's a bad way, but I can think of one.
Successfully, you said. Yeah, I can't think of how to do it successfully, but I can imagine using it, you know, very unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe when they do the next... remember that story, that Harry Potter story we read for Christmas? That like wizards challenge?
Oh, yeah.
That could be one of the writing prompts, you know. It's just like silly wizard tricks are for kids. They had to use that line.
Oh,
we can make that mandatory.
That literally was it, yeah.
Yeah. We'll make one of those prompts. It's like the Harry Potter Christmas, you know, writing challenge. And you have to use the phrase Raging Inferno.
And
3 times in a sex scene.
Try your hardest to make it as least bad as possible.
Yeah, because it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But you can minimize, you can do damage control. The emblem of the phoenix quickly identified the man who opposed the hunters. The armor itself had its own unique origins. It was forged from illustrium, a material located in the molten magma of the planet Terra itself.
What?
Illustrium, closely related to unobtainium.
You shitting me?
Hey Connor, you remember when you like dug down to the Earth's core for some metal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was I installed the obsidian armor mod in Minecraft. You know, it's real cool. It's even better than diamond.
I think you mean the bedrock armor mod.
Oh yeah, that's even better. Also, I love how it was like the emblem of the phoenix quickly identified the man. Now let's continue talking about something other than the emblem. Like you'd think that's where it would continue going with. But instead it's like nothing builds on itself in these paragraphs. It's all just detail, other detail, other detail.
Yeah, it fit on his body and was as malleable as regular cloth.
Wow.
And at the same time,
his armor fits? Wow.
Yet at the same time, the fabric was harder than any known metal. It's literally
so it's
like
not
the
fabric.
fucking...
What?
Like, it's like what Frodo... No, it's like what Frodo had. The shirt.
Oh, the mithril... wait, no, the
Mithril.
sword...
It's literally
or
just
wasn't-
mithril.
Or was his sword mithril? I forget.
No. It was a mithril shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a mithril shirt. This is literally just the same thing. It's flexible like fabric, but it's harder than metal.
It's somewhere between... I mean,
and it
Illustrium...
came from molten magma.
I mean,
that makes sense.
Illustrium is somewhere between unobtainium and mithril. Sure.
And adamantium, yeah.
You know,
Adamantium,
I think
too.
this is one of those things where you could have just said it was like enchanted, and that would have been
Unstable
better.
molecules.
It would have been better because now I'm imagining what the hell could you pull from magma that would become like the hardest metal ever, but also a cloth.
It's a magical realm.
An enigma to even the best blacksmith throughout the Seven
Fuck
Kingdoms.
off.
Nobody
Right?
knows. You're wondering because there is no explanation.
My
Nobody
character
knows.
has this cool thing. I don't need to try to, you know, explain it. Well, I don't know. You know, because like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The eyes of the hunter known as Riff widened.
That's.
Shut up, Riff. We know who it is.
Jenks ordered.
Warlord Braxis.
He sneered. Braxis focused on Riff specifically and yelled out a loud and piercing boo.
Boo.
Oh no.
Riff screamed and ran toward the closest window and crashed through it as he fled the inn. Man, I like it when my fantasy novel has like humor that could come from like, I don't know, an episode of the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Really adds atmosphere when people act like fucking cartoon characters. Like He-Man has more dignity than this.
Did Riff scream like a little girl as he did so?
Yeah, like it's like fucking Looney Tunes. Like, come on, man, fuck off. You wrote like fucking 15 of these books. Why do you write it like this? Springs watched with horror as he realized what was about to happen. Myriad reactions flowed through him. The most honored and revered warrior of their time was here to rid him of the infestation of the hunters. They've been here 5 minutes.
They're a little drunk and a little like
Rowdy.
ruffian,
Yeah.
but haven't actually broken anything yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they started.
At the same time, his poor inn was about to become a battle zone.
It's 6. Well, no, wait. One of them left. It's a total of 5 people. I guess they can still do a lot of damage.
No, Braxian or Braxis or whatever. Braxis has that praxis, you know what I'm saying? Braxis is so cool, he'll defeat the 4 of them without even breaking a sweat.
Or a chair.
No, he'll break many chairs
Oh, okay.
over their heads.
Yeah. The fact that he has a goatee and like long hair makes me think he could be played by like 1993 Steven Seagal.
Jesus.
In which case he absolutely would never be touched.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh
Oh my
'cause that's
god,
a-
I've seen a few bad, 2010s Steven Seagal movies like on Netflix, and it's hilarious the lengths the movies go to have him never get hit.
Yeah.
Or like take a punch or get hurt at all during a fight. Like whenever a fight scene starts and he's in it, he'll just stand there and like flail his arms and just whoop the shit out of everyone and not even get touched.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his older movies back, because I mean he's really old now. He's like 70 years old now. Like, but like I watched movies when he was back in his prime, and like, yeah, his reputation's been kind of tarnished, but like his first movie, Above the Law, And then like Under Siege 1 and 2 are still entertaining movies.
Yeah.
Just sad.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad what happened. You know, let it all go to his head, and then now he's like, you know, one of those people just cranking out the VOD things. But anyway, yeah, this is a Steven Seagal character, absolutely. So Battle Zone, without saying a word, he gestured for his 2 remaining sons to follow him, and they walked out the door praying that when they walked back in, they'd still have a bar for the end.
Wah, wah.
It's not gonna be that bad, my bro.
Wah, wah.
Warlord Braxis looked at the remaining 4 hunters and smiled, watching as they pulled their swords and prepared to fight.
Why?
They were shaking in either fear or intoxication. It mattered little.
Why are they all trying to fight him despite knowing who he is?
Because they think they can take him.
I guess so.
Stories are exaggerated. It's only a man.
He's not just a man. He is Steven Seagal.
There are 4 of us. Clearly, we can take him.
All right, hang on. I'll be Warlord Braxis, and I need to try to sound like 2010 Steven Seagal. Like, what happened? I'll snatch every motherfucker birthday. Which is an actual line from a Steven Seagal film.
Oh my god.
I know, man. I've watched Ralph the Movie Maker.
I'll give you this one chance. Surrender and leave now, or face my wrath. I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. The blood bank.
Yeah. Team Rocket, you know? Fucking surrender now, or prepare to fight, like literally.
Yeah.
His voice was stern and full of authority. From the tone, one could ascertain that very few would ever disobey an order once given by Braxis.
Well,
thanks.
Our boys here will, though. These hunter boys, they will.
You know, Cliff, some authors like to show rather than just telling us what we're supposed to be getting from the scene. You might try that. I don't even know what this end looks like. You just keep telling me objectively how people think and feel.
It's a nice in giving that not everything is broken.
Yeah.
Like that's
which, you know,
really
low
good.
bar.
Like here's a fun game for those watching this at home. Try to find a single instance of showing and not telling in the sample chapter. As far as I can tell, it's all tell.
Yeah.
Wraith, huh?
Jenks screamed out.
There are 4 of us, armed, and only one of you. Not a weapon in sight.
I got 2 deadly weapons right here.
I call them justice and other justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continuing to smile, Braxis nodded as he began to taunt the hunters.
No, ho ho.
Well, if you are so confident, then shall we begin? I know from your comments how little you think of me and the Imperium. Of course, 4 hunters of your ilk could take one defenseless man.
In armor.
Jinx started to spout orders.
Ready, men? We're going to enjoy this.
Leading the charge, Jinx ran toward Braxis, who remained where he was. The smile never left his face.
And yes, you can also imagine that Braxis has those same orange shades that Steven Seagal has in every movie for the last 10 years.
Does he also look like slightly stretched vertically to make him appear thinner?
He looks pretty puffed because he's fat. You know.
Yeah, but I think in some movies they actually genuinely slightly stretch the image when he's on screen more vertically to make him look thinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's just like I don't like a lot of people like make fun of him for being fat, but it's like I think it's really just because he's old. You know, he's 70 years old. He's just a lot of people get fat when they get old. He's just too old. He needs to stop.
He should really just retire.
Like when you're 70, that's too You can't be a convincing action star at 70, except for like a few very special examples.
All right, I'll stop backing. I'm going to enjoy this too.
Here he comes. Edgelord. He commented under his breath as Jenks arrived and lunged toward him with his sword.
Jenks arrived. He wasn't here before.
Yeah, Braxis motioned quickly, parrying to the side. Yeah, he motioned. Verbing Weird's language. He moved. He didn't move to the side. He motioned. He motioned quickly, parrying to the side and allowing Jenks' sword to find nothing but air.
He is parrying to the side. What is he parrying? The sword?
He's motioning.
He
He
is motioning a parry?
Oh my god, it's like an anime character, like just a flick of his wrist, but that's strong enough to completely parry this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finishing his movement, he brought his open hand down in a chop on the back of Jenks' neck as the man crumbled to the floor. Oh my god.
Oh no, he became
you
dust.
shot him with metal armor.
He became dust.
But he didn't crumple to the floor. He crumbled. He's in like fucking he's
I
dust.
see.
Yeah, he is dust now. The man became dust on the floor.
Braxis, no.
Braxis, what the fuck, man?
Brax, you're making a mess of this wonderful inn that is a 4-star inn.
Now they'll need to, sweep that up again. They'll need to sweep up this man dust. And everybody knows dust gets everywhere.
That's not that much of a mess. You know.
That's true.
I mean,
it's better to have to sweep some stuff up than to clean blood off the walls.
Yeah,
you don't understand how big of a nuisance man dust is, dude. Like, have you ever had to sweep up man dust? I don't think you have, because I have. And let me tell you.
When Jenks dissolves into dust, the dust basically like permeates into the wooden floor and stains it, and you can never leave. You have to put carpet down over the body shadows, basically.
Yeah,
Silhouettes.
exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Brax has uttered another challenge.
Next.
The remaining 3 looked at each other in awe.
Oh, we're so amazing. Like, we are amazing.
None of them could believe that Jenks had fallen, much less how quickly it had happened.
Much less that he became dust.
Yeah, it's almost like you should have all done it together anyways. Braxis began to loop around them. Oh my god, weaving in and out. He's like a snake.
What?
Creating confusion as the 3 kept trying to connect with him. Hey, so, we haven't really gotten to know each other that well.
Connect.
My name is, they're really connecting with him. My name is Brent. I like hunting, murdering, pillaging,
apparently.
Looting.
I like drinking.
I love drinking, yeah. In fact, I usually start with the drinking, and then comes the pillaging and destruction.
Yeah,
and murder.
It might have something to do with the lowering of inhibitions. You know how it is.
Yeah, but I'm really hoping that you have my number. And you can reach out to me if you need.
Give me a call. I'll always open for you, man. Like, always available. Yeah, good times had.
Mi casa, su casa.
Yeah. Also, this casa, kind of mi casa right now. I'm taking it over. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, not for long.
It's a nice place. Not for long, because I'm here now,
Yeah. In the doorway left open by springs, a woman walked up and leaned against the arch. She was of good height, but not as tall.
Good height.
Come on.
What is a good height?
Yes. Good height.
Good job, Shrek.
What is a good height?
Not a bad height.
Oh.
She had long, silvery white hair. Fucking thanks. Flowing freely down her back. The left side of her face had the mark of the Mistral. A dragon-shaped birthmark of intricate detail.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's so lame.
Oh.
She was garbed in a skin-tight red outfit that appeared strong as armor, but also flexible, so you can see her titties, which would allow her to be agile.
Shape nice and perfectly over her body.
The outfit itself displayed all of her features.
Oh my god, I was making a joke. Fuck off.
Look, you cannot have proper women's armor without camel toe, okay? It's the only thing.
Oh my god.
She's wearing like a one-piece, like a fucking red cat suit. This is so weird. Normally you just wear nothing.
Well, it's like, Tacky and Soul Calibur?
Yeah, I guess in this setting,
Think Taki and Soul Calibur, that is exactly what she looks like, a skin-tight red outfit.
Okay.
God.
It was flexible, which would allow her to be agile. The outfit itself displayed all of her features, revealing bare arms and legs that clearly showed signs of muscle tone and strength.
Clearly.
Okay.
Clearly. She wore boots that came up to her knees and the same shade of red as her one-piece armor. On her right leg, she had a ring around her bare skin that held small throwing blades. Latched to her waist was an elongated sword. Crossed upon her back, gotta use a different word every time, she also had 2 holsters holding swords.
You mean sheaths?
Good God, these characters are all Liefeld characters.
God.
Like a thigh band full of knives is so Liefeld.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur Taki. Because how does she have exposed skin if she has a one-piece suit over her full body?
Well, you see, it's like a bathing suit. kind of shape.
Yeah, so like the legs are completely uncovered.
Yeah. Except for, from the knees down, because she has very long boots.
Oh, what a fucking outfit.
What an outfit.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was very poorly explained.
Yes.
The woman watched the scene inside and spoke to Braxis. Need any help? Braxis swirled around. Fucking cloud. Dodging the thrashing sword of Psyche.
The thrashing sword.
Of Psyche.
Wow. Sorry. Nope. I'm having too much fun with these imbeciles. I'm a warlord. That's apparently the only reason our country hasn't fallen to the forces of darkness or whatever, and I'm just having a good time and cracking goofs while getting in this bar fight against level 1 assholes.
I have like 80 Saturday morning cartoon level dialogue. I hope he calls someone an incompetent fool later.
I will call someone a dimwit.
Yeah. How about a sword? The woman inquired.
What about a sword?
Come on, Solara. That would take the fun out of it.
We're literally having this conversation while I just like swirl around in gaseous form through the room.
I'm just really annoyed.
I'm so
bored.
cool.
God. What a boring character.
No, Braxis is so original and exciting.
Boring as fuck.
Wolm ran toward Braxis with his sword held high above his head. Braxis dropped and rolled onto his back, lifting his legs to catch Wolm's torso and using his own momentum to launch him through the air and into a wall. Wolm started to scream, but was silenced as he broke through the wall and lost himself to unconsciousness.
Lost himself to unconsciousness.
Ow.
I'm pretty sure you would die if you got kicked through a wall.
I mean, depends on what the wall is made of.
Solara watched the move. Not bad, but destructive. You'll be paying for that wall.
I don't care.
What is the tone of this book?
Garbage.
I know.
Braxis replied, he improvised that line. Braxis replied as Vrent started swirling his sword, trying to hit him. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'll hit you with my swirling sword.
Here's the thing. Have you ever gotten an ice cream cone and you have to swirl it around?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's the technique here,
dude. Also, the swirling sword of Vrent also sounds like it could be a legendary creature.
Swirling sword.
They're like the Egyptian god cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psyche approached Braxis from behind, trying to end it quickly. Oh, thank you, Psyche. If cowardly, now that the numbers were slowly losing their favor. He stabbed forward as Braxis dodged and found his sword clanging with Vrent's. Braxis then turned and jumped, launching a kick at Psyche's head while in midair.
This feels very Pirates of the Caribbean, and I don't know why, that's what I first go to.
Oh.
But this feels like Braxis has just turned into, Jack Sparrow in a fight scene.
Yeah, and, the dialogue is, Pirates 4 bad.
Yeah.
Vrent momentarily lost his balance when Psyche's sword impacted his. He watched as Psyche fell, and he was alone against Braxis. Wait. What? Why did he... Oh, yeah, because even though he swung the sword, he didn't see the kick coming right for his head.
I think, to back up what I just said, I think also they stabbed their swords at each other, but it just clanged off, don't worry. There's not any blood or any injuries. I kick someone through a wall, they're fine. Swords just clang off each other, that's fine.
Yeah. It's very kid-friendly.
Very PG.
Yeah, extremely PG. Yeah, so, as the warlord came back down to the ground, how fucking high did you jump? You were just hanging around up there.
Kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
And then he did probably a cool flip before landing.
Oh, yeah, he launched a kick at Sky's head, but what it didn't say was he was parallel with Sky's head,
Yeah. As the warlord came back down to the ground, he picked up a bar stool and tossed it toward Vrent. He picked it up as he was coming down.
Yeah.
That's a move.
Vrent dodged, but the stool hit his sword hand and he dropped his blade. Unwilling to surrender, the hunter Vrent, who had always believed he could best any beast with his bare hands.
I don't need Vrent's fucking backstory. He's about to get murdered. It's fine. I don't need to know anything.
With my bare hands, I can best any breeze. Bear any brewin'?
Yeah, I could breast it, but that fuck it.
I'm Vrent.
I'm Vrent and I'm gonna punch you.
Threw a punch at his foe. Braxis caught the punch in midair and simply smiled at Vrent.
Wait, he threw the bar stool at Vrent. So, like, Vrent was at least that far away. So did Vrent just throw a punch, like, across the room?
Well, you see...
No, Braxis is just fucking slow. He jumps way up in the air and is, like, very slowly floating down.
Now, see, what I'm imagining is... See, what it is Vrent has a really good forward punch. So he just, it has a lot of movement to it. It's a very good approach option.
He crossed a great distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's Dalsum.
He just punches so hard that he moves forward a lot. It's not because he moves, it's because his punch moves him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he then twisted Brent's arm back and punched him in the face with his other arm. As Brent fell, he heard a few last words before he slipped into unconsciousness.
Weird. Did you enjoy it?
Standing straight up, Solera took a step into the inn. Not bad at all. Oh no, it's pretty bad.
Thanks. Did you get the fifth man who fled when this all started?
Tiot has him. Tiot is like the biggest question mark. He's not going anywhere.
I mean, I heard the question mark in your pause. Like, you paused, like, that was like... I just imagined you just kind of, like, staring at it for like a second. Like, isn't that what it says? Yes, that is what it says.
Yeah, good old Tiot. Like TN, I guess. Braxis stepped outside and saw his faithful Timberwolf atop Riff, growling at the cowering hunter.
Okay.
Tiot, the dog, from his nose to the tip of his tail. Tiot was 6 feet in length and weighed close to 150 pounds. He was predominantly gray. Why do you keep saying predominantly? With white legs and paws.
Gray.
Oh, yeah.
A white outline around his nose and mouth, as well as a much darker shade of gray flowing to the tip of his tail, because you care.
I don't care about his...
I do, man. I will pet every dog that I see.
That's fair enough.
You can't hug every cat.
But you can pet every dog.
No.
You can pet every dog. That is within the realm of possibility. Petting, much shorter time than hugging.
Yeah.
You might still get bit, though.
Some cats don't want to be hugged. Every dog wants to be petted.
Seeing that Tia did indeed have things under control. Yeah, why Tia? Braxis walked back inside the bar, opened the cabinet by the door, and reclaimed the sword that was famed throughout the Seven Kingdoms. His trusty blade, the Phoenix.
Oh my
handcrafted
God.
just like the armor he wore.
Oh.
Yes, unlike factory made, again, in this setting.
The innkeeper Springs slowly walked back inside and surveyed the damage. Tears were streaking down his face. Springs, did anyone ever tell you that you're a little bitch?
Yeah, like,
it's not that bad.
Calm down.
Clam down.
Or maybe this is a fantasy society where, like, if violence breaks out at any establishment, the way they've decided to counter that is by, like, killing the person who owns that place. Like, you dare let violence happen at your inn? Well, this calls for your swift death.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm ruined!
Braxis reached into a pouch, hung behind his back, and pulled out a small bag. He looked inside, tossed it up in his hands a couple of times, then tossed it over to Springs.
He pulled a bag out of a pouch.
Yes.
I think a pouch is smaller than a small bag.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh my God, he is a Rob Liefeld character.
Oh
Pouches.
Yeah. I apologize for the mess. On behalf of the Empress, this should cover the damages.
You know, while we're talking about Seagal and Liefeld, I remember that famous article, like the 40 worst Liefeld drawings. They said he makes his character so large and muscly that they end up, like, being, like, not even muscular looking. They just become weird, wrinkly fat asses.
Damn.
And I'm like, dang. You know, that comment just felt germane, you know, to what we've been talking about. So, Springs opened the small bag and his eyes widened as he saw the contents. Pure grains of gold. Grains. Golden grains. Untampered and worth more than his entire inn combined. Combined with what?
The
Yeah.
It's
entirety
one
of
fucking
it.
thing.
In
You fucking idiot! You don't say combined with it's one fucking thing.
Every single part of the inn combined.
What the fuck?
Every
if I had a
single
fire
section.
sale and sold every little thing off, broke it down brick by brick, started selling commemorative autographed bricks.
Like, can I get an edit of Captain Planet of the Planeteers? Earth, by your powers combined. Just one Planeteer.
Why, thank you. This is most generous, kind sir.
Oh, see, it's
You know
fine
who
now.
it
He got
is.
his money.
Yeah. Think nothing of it. I apologize again for the destruction. However, I could not sit back any longer. I am Lord Braxis, after all.
I am a warlord. I need to do the war thing where I wage war, even with just like 5 other people. It's fine.
Yeah. Springs thanked him again and quickly called his sons over.
What? Go bring this to your mother.
He told them. Next, he addressed Barrow.
You go contact the ISIA. Why do we have federal agencies in this fantasy world? And
Go
have
call them
pick
all-
these 5 up.
Call them on the house phone, not your cell phone.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, please post on our Facebook page that the violence is over and people can come back.
The violence has ceased. You may return to our establishment.
With his work done, Braxis walked over to where Tiot had riffed cowering.
My work is done here.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
We're leaving now. But if I hear that you ran off, I'll have Tiot here to track you down, and this time I'll let him do what he wants with you. Understand?
You ever nodded with a 150-pound dog?
Oh no.
Soldier.
Oh, God.
No.
My Tiat, he's a sexual menace, so, it takes a lot to hold him back.
You ever been yiffed to death, Hunter?
Oh my god.
You better not go anywhere. Understand ya. Stuttering, Riff complied. Yes, sir. Not going nowhere is I.
What?
That's awful.
Good.
Good.
Unlike
Rex
this story.
stood and walked to his horse, Solera, in stride.
Wait.
Solera was his armored.
Wait, no,
horse.
Solera was the human.
Yeah, Solera is a
But-
human, supposedly.
Well, no. He has a human friend named Solera and a horse named Solera.
That's confusing. Funny
Did he name
coincidence.
the horse after the woman?
Yeah. I love you so much, my dear. I named my horse after you. So that way it's like I never leave you.
And
I'm sorry, I'm just like... No, the woman, who also just disappeared from the scene, was definitely named Solara.
What I think is here going on is what it is that he is walking to his horse with Solera in stride with him as he walks
And
to
she
his
mounts her
horse.
Yeah.
It's just not written well.
Okay, that would be like, if that was the way it was intended, that would be like Solara in stride, no comma after Solara.
Yeah, that comma...
With the comma around it, it really makes it sound like the horse is named
Yeah,
Solara.
the comma
Solara.
after Solara has to not be there. That comma is there in
Okay,
error.
because, as they mounted their horses. So, Braxis walks with Solara in stride.
Yes.
Oh my god.
One comma just completely
That
changes everything.
I had a moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. As they mounted their horses and started to head off. Alright, Miss Fritz, I'm about to head out. Braxis let out 2 short whistles. Oh no, that's not what you want to hear. Tia jumped off Riff and ran alongside the 2 riders. Oh, thank goodness. Springs stood there watching as they slowly vanished over the horizon. Dreams of an even bigger and more luxurious inn danced through his head.
He has the gold now.
Did this start as like a 1-chapter short story about Springs, and then it was like, hang on, I want to use this Braxis character in my other story, so let me just put this as the first chapter?
I don't know. It
Because,
feels like it.
how is this related except for showing us how cool Braxis is?
I mean, this is literally just to show us how cool Braxis is.
And of course, we'll stop here at the first chapter because it does go on into like chapter 2. But all you really will hear are more bad names like Bosic and Sarkad, in the Kingdom of Dartaeus, and you know, you have King Rentios.
Rentios.
Okay.
The army of
Rentios.
Danchel.
And Palinile? Or maybe it's Polinial?
God.
Probably
more
Polinial?
fantasy stuff.
Woo.
Yeah, and it is literally all just long backstory.
God.
Good.
Yeah, wow. What I want to finish on, though, is this list of races. This seems a little crowded. Elves, Mistral, Lupin, Simian, Centaurs, Gnomes, Fairies, Feline, Gorn, and numerous other races.
Numerous others.
Okay.
Gorn?
Yeah, numerous others. I like that. It's like, yeah, let me have part of a list, but also not, completely fill it out.
Let me also make sure that you know that that the full list is at least twice as long.
Yeah, it's like that dictionary I got where it has, like, words and definitions for, like, letters A through G. But then from H onwards, it says, yeah, there's other words that begin with these other letters, but you don't really need to know about them.
Yeah, those aren't important.
I'm like, thanks, dictionary. Gosh. So, what do you think? Do you think a publisher read that and approved it? Or do you think that my theory that he started the company that published this book as its first book and was based out of his hometown? Do you think he might have been involved in that company? It's just a...
I mean, for legal reasons, I will not state that any such thing is a thing. But
right.
I have strong
suspicion. Possibility, just as any event able to happen in the universe is a possibility.
Yeah, exactly. And you can buy this book on Amazon for a Kindle edition for $10 fucking. And he's written a bunch of other books. I think my favorite one is probably Snapped because it's an actual picture of him on the cover, covered in like fake blood and holding a shovel.
Good.
Oh.
It's like his American Psycho.
Okay. I went fucking crazy from producing the most generic fantasy you'll ever read.
Yeah, and I mean he has a sci-fi book series called The Gen Ops.
Wow.
The When the Sky Fell, Sky Chronicles.
He had that like 14 book other fantasy series.
Yeah. And all these are published by oh my god. There's a book called Continuing the Passion. Which is like this semi-autobiographical book where it's the son of a fantasy and science fiction novelist or something.
Oh.
No, it's a story of a best-selling fantasy and science fiction novelist who, after his dad dies, decides to honor his father by carrying on his father's legacy as a baseball coach.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, well...
What do you say to that?
Yeah, but Connor, the most important thing is the main character of that book is Connor Blake.
Are you serious?
Yes, Connor Blake.
Oh, God. Well, maybe another time.
We were made to cover Clifford Bauer, so I hope you enjoyed. I definitely think this is so bad it's awful.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Our Patreon changed to just having a single $1 tier, so all those folks are listed on screen. The main reward is getting extra consideration for getting pulled in to voice characters in Fate, the huge series we're running as long-form streams. If this is all news to you, go watch the announcement video we have as the featured video for subscribers on our channel page. Take care, get vaccinated, and have a great day.